Hello!
Hello!
Hey everyone.
Hi, John Twitter.
Welcome to episode 9 of the We Just Quit Our Jobs podcast. I am your host, Greg Puffman.
And I'm your other host, Ted Zepp.
And we are here. It's Sunday night. Ready to bring you another great episode of the podcast. I just wanted to get something out of the way right at the beginning. We've been getting a lot of emails. Nick is not coming back, so...
Yes, please stop sending us messages. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, he was just on that one episode, and like we said, we didn't think he did a good job. We did not invite him back, and actually, all these emails and just kind of the frustration with this whole process, I actually ended up
firing him from Staples.
He's definitely not coming back. Doesn't want anything to do with me.
And then I kind of have a disclaimer as well at the beginning of this episode, because I know that if you listen to our last one, probably drove a lot of traffic to my dropshipping website, where I was dropshipping homebrew kits. They were actually just recalled by the company that made them. It's my responsibility to collect them all and return them to the company, or else I guess the liability is on me.
Well, what happened?
I guess all of the homebrew kits come out with like starter yeast, I guess, for brewing, okay. And it was just a bad batch of yeast. The yeast is no good. So, it's making a lot of people sick.
Was it the yeast, or was it like the tarp situation? Like, I know it can get pretty hot.
No. None of my. It was not. That was just my inventory situation. It was their yeast that was making everybody sick. So it's nothing to do with me. Yeast. It's just the company's error. But it's funny that you bring up the tarp, because I guess yeast. You know, it's been hot and it's been humid, and it's kind of, I guess there's like yeast colonies now in the backyard. It's a mess. And so me and my dad are tackling that. It's probably going to be a couple weeks.
I know. We talked on the phone last night, and you mentioned a lot of the boxes were getting kind of soggy and had some mold on them from the tarp. Do you think they're going to take them back, or?
Yeah. So basically, we're trying to salvage the uncolonized boxes, I guess, and the other ones will just. I'll write it off as a loss.
All right.
I know a lot of the drop shipping warehouses are like climate controlled, and I think.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm kind of doing drop shipping differently. I guess I'm disrupting the whole drop ship industry. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to say there aren't challenges with that.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this again. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
I think next we're going to do the Musk Minute. For new job quitters, the Musk Minute is just where we talk about what Elon Musk, inventor, entrepreneur, astronaut, is up to, that week. So this is a big week in Musk news. Mm-hmm. At one of these conferences, that Elon's always going to, he basically told this crowd this philosophy he'd come up with. And that basically says that the whole world is like a simulation, like a computer game, a video game.
What?
It actually makes a lot of sense. Basically, he said there were a lot of numbers and a lot of arguments. It was a little difficult to follow, as Elon often is, because he's just so beyond everybody else. But basically, he said that the odds that we aren't a simulation are 1 in 6 billion or something.
What?
So basically, it's a certainty that we are. So the whole world is fake, like the Matrix. And basically, you can do whatever you want.
What? Okay. So, what?
I mean, I just thought this was really cool and, obviously something you can use as an entrepreneur. There are no real consequences for failure in a video game. So, you should feel free to try. You can only win.
I know, but don't you...
The world's a simulation.
Don't you kind of feel that I don't know, just takes away from some of the meaning in life or anything like that? we're all just like, I don't know, pawns on a digital chessboard?
No.
I guess just a little upsetting that it could all just be kind of like a simulation, someone just watching from their couch from space.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's watching you work at Staples every day. I don't think that's how the simulation works.
I don't know that, Ted.
Do you remember the Sims, the video game? What if it's like that? Everyone has their own sim. I mean, there aren't any Sims that aren't controlled by somebody.
That's not even true. In The Sims, you control one family, and the computer controls all the others. So, for example, I could be the main person, and so that's why my life is a little more, exciting. That's easy. Or there's just like interesting things going on. It's a mess. Whereas, people like you or other people are just the background characters. Pop in and out.
What version of The Sims are you talking about?
At least everything after the first one had that.
I think I'm talking about. I think I came in a little later, maybe on one of the online ones, because I'm pretty sure everyone was controlled.
One?
Yeah, everyone was controlled by.
Yeah, someone. I only played Sims by myself.
Okay, well, I think if this is all a simulation, then the technology from this planet is a little more advanced than Sims 1.
Well, this is Elon Musk's theory, and I'm not really going to question him. I'm on Musk's side.
I am too.
You do have a point.
Okay, going on over to tips and tricks this week. I think Ted's going to go first, but this segment is where we bring you our favorite tip and trick from the week.
Yeah, and I just want to make a minor correction. It's actually tips. I mean, the segment is called Tips and Tricks, but we actually do a tip or a trick, and then, so it could be possible that I do a tip and Greg does a tip, or I do a trick and Greg does a trick.
No, that's fair, and I mean, we also do sometimes bring in a strategy as well, and that's not in the name, but...
Yeah, that's just not what you said. So my trick for this week is, and I found this, on one of our favorite sites, entrepreneur.com. This trick is avoid meetings at all costs. We've all been in some boring meeting that isn't telling us anything useful, so just avoid them at all costs. Make up excuses.
What?
Just don't be around when they're collecting people. Pretend that you didn't get the email. And this is something that I really perfected when I was working at the call center. Whenever we got dragged in for some meeting or whatever, I would just pretend that my phone was ringing, and then eventually they stopped asking me to come to meetings.
What?
And then, obviously, after I quit, I haven't had a meeting since then. So this is one I've really perfected, and I found that it does save me a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. Tim Ferriss always talks about this too. It's like I think it has a couple chapters in the
4-Hour Work Week. Escape 9 to 5. Live anywhere and join the new rich.
Yeah.
So is that where you got the idea for this?
No, like I said, it was entrepreneur.com.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I love the 4-Hour Work Week, but it just comes up a lot, and this is from entrepreneur.com.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason I ask is because I was reading the
4-Hour Work Week
this week, and that's where I got the idea for my trick, which was the same thing that you just said. So we just had a phone call right before this, and you told me that you didn't have a tip yet, so I guess I'm just a little confused, like, where you came through with that, like, right before the show. Because I told you what mine was going to be.
I don't remember that. What I remember is you being a little upset that I didn't have one, so I was, I guess, inspired to find one, and I did. So
okay, and it was just the same one, and I mean it's
B- for you.
We'll talk about this on Monday.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is a great web hosting service. You can get a domain name and set up a web page really easy. You don't need to know how to code or how to do any of that stuff.
Just so everybody knows, Squarespace hasn't actually paid us anything for this, and they actually don't know about this advertisement, but I'm not aware of any law that says you can't advertise for things without their...
Yeah.
They really do offer a great service. Like you said, you can build web pages, kind of post them up on the internet, and I was looking around on their website trying to find the cost. I feel a little underprepared.
Yeah, we use Squarespace, which is really cool. So we, recommend them to everyone.
We don't.
We've had such a great experience with.
We actually use Blogspot for our website.
Oh.
Yeah, it kind of just like fits our needs better, and it's also free. So, kind of like at this point, I think Blogspot is the best solution for us. But
Does Blogspot advertise?
I mean, not that I know of. No. And I know that, like I said, we don't use Squarespace, but it's one of those things where, like, if they were to start paying for advertising on our show, we would probably switch over. So that's just an extra incentive for any Squarespacers out there. And this show's going to be around
for a while.
I think we'd be a good
one. And I have sent numerous emails to the head of marketing at Squarespace. I found her on LinkedIn, but she hasn't responded to me. So I'm going to send her the link to this show and mention that Squarespace was featured in it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. And
if you fail, it's only a simulation. That's the thing to remember. For being to our show listeners, I have to run out I'm going to dinner at my aunt's, where my mom is staying with her because my mom has, she's got like respiratory issues, and they're being aggravated by all the yeast in the backyard. So, gotta cut this episode, short a little bit, but it was a really great episode, Greg.
Yeah, it was. I think we got a lot of good stuff in there. You did steal my trick, so it's a little shorter than it would have been if you had come up with your own, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, it'll be okay. It's not a big deal. So I'm your host, Ted Zepp.
I'm Greg Puffman.
And go quit your job.